I worked in broadcast journalism, and something live TV, live news, something always happens.
Yes. Okay, here we
So
go.
no
Get
worries.
ready. All right. Well, thank you for. Oh, hang on. No, hold on.
Take your time.
Well,
Okay.
thank you for coming on the red carpet.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You're very welcome. Can you tell everybody what got you into the entertainment industry?
Well, that's a great question. What got me into the entertainment industry really started when I was around 5. I would take my parents' Super 8 camera, the thing that had still film in it,
Mm-hmm.
and I would take my little figures and little dollies, and I would make my own little animations. That's what really got me in the first time when I was a child. I had the passion. And then as I grew older, I got in through the broadcast news industry. I worked from the early 2000s to close to really till 2020, um, working as a producer, a field producer, as well as an assignment editor. I worked in New York, New Jersey, and Philly, like mostly the tri state area market. And it was interesting because when you do news, and it was local news, it wasn't national. When you do local news, you start from scratch. You don't have a script, you don't have hardly any content. You sit around a big conference room with a bunch of people and they throw ideas around. And pretty much you pitch stories and then you cover the news and really anywhere between 5 to 8 hours per day because you have like the 7, the 8, the 9. Sometimes you have the 11, the 12 o'clock, the 4, 5, 6, and then maybe the 10 or the 11. So you have to create all this content out of nowhere. It's sometimes breaking news. It's sometimes stories where you set them up. There's a presser, there's a politician, there's an announcement, there's something going on. But news is insane because you start with zero and you wind up filling all those hours of content in one day. So having to do that compared to working in film and in media, as far as movies go, it's a walk in the park. Movies, you're working off a script. Granted, you get long hours, but you know what you're doing. Everybody knows what they're doing, at least
And
if
the
you have experience.
and the one thing I want to say, you're absolutely right. It depends what state you're in, because I've been to LA, and LA news is like, I don't remember, don't quote me, like 11 o'clock to whatever news times. And but I give so much respect for the news anchors because they're telling the news. We got to hear the news, and they are spending so many hours on set or location, and it's meaningful. And they're also telling people stories and the what is so called in the world of the life, hurricane disasters or wildfires or sad stories, happy stories, emotional stories, surprise marriage proposals, and stuff like that. And it's the same as being in the entertainment industry as actors, because actors, they have to work many hours, and it's like 5 a.m. to a win to or 16 hours on set. So that's why me personally, I have so much respect for news anchors and actors and the film crew, because if they're not there, nothing happens.
Yes, so true. Like where the value of an anchor comes in, because they are really reading off a prompter. And yes, they do work long hours, but the people behind the scenes work even harder. What you're looking at is the tip of the spear. You're looking at the polished person that's either giving weather or they're giving the lead stories or someone who's on location. Now, where their value comes in is if something happens, because they're always reading off a teleprompter. So that's easy, right? To a point. But where a value of an anchor comes in is when breaking news happens and there's no script. And they have to be able to make it interesting, to
Hmm.
cover what's going on, to continuously talk without seeming dull or even giving one point of downtime. That's where their value comes in their knowledge. And believe me, they're very well read people. That's where anchors are worth their weight in gold. Now, that's not to take anything else away from anyone else, and that includes the correspondent or the reporter that's on location. They too have to work the story. And I've dealt with a lot of reporters and a lot of anchors. And it always seems to me like the ones that are always the go getters, the ones where you don't have to hold their hand, where they come in and they're ready to pitch stories, they seem to be the best because they have the passion. Not everybody's the same, not everyone works the same. And actors are a little bit different in that they need to know their lines, but not just know their lines, they need to bring it differently. It's not whether you know your lines, it's how well you make it believable and expressible. The way you, as if you're just talking to a friend.
And
So that's a very big difference between, it's very much alike news anchors and reporters, but it differs in that anchors are working live television usually. Actors are not. Actors work off of scripts. Anchors work off a teleprompter, which is also a script, by the way, because I created many scripts while I was producing. That's what a producer does in news. You sit there and write. You write either headlines or you write content or you help out with the story. Um, and then kudos to the assignment editors who are really the behind scenes, they're the spear of the newsroom because they have to know everything all the time, update everyone, change
hmm
their gears, and they're the ones that assign the reporters, the photogs, which is AKA the cameramen, um, and anyone else. They assign the stories, and they have to change gears. They have to sometimes set up the stories. They have to do the hard work and do it on the fly
right.
and fly the chopper and tell where the chopper pilot where to go. Usually now they have coordinates, but back in the day, like in the early 2010s, they had to use um, MapQuest. They had to use like those big maps. So you would be like G32, and they would be like, yeah, I found it. And they'd be
To
flying
be honest, I don't know how to read a map.
great because back in the day when MapQuest existed, you had to like print out 90s, early 2000s,
Hmm.
2010s, you already started going into like GPS.
Right. I'm
Yeah,
thankful to GPS because one of my family member was this 4 years ago. They're like, here, there's this map. And they hand me this big map. There's
really.
like, state map, right? And they're like, okay, guess where we are without looking at the phone. And I just looked at the phone, I looked at the map, and I just looked down like, I have no idea. I have no idea which way is north, south, east, or west. And so I said, hold on. Oh, cell phone. I know where we are. They're like, oh, technology. And I said, well, I can't read a map. I'm sorry. I know how to go east and west on a highway, but I don't know where we are in a state if they tell me to go that way.
That's okay. We all we all rely on GPS too much. Um, Interesting about the map story that you told, which is very interesting. Most of us don't know how to navigate a map, even for the ones that grew up with maps, because they're hard. They're not easy. Um, I mean, I don't know most people's numbers. I just like barely know mine, my phone number. So like, I might know my significant other's phone number, but that's it. We rely so much on that little box we carry around called our phone.
Mhm. People people give us a hard time. They're like, "Wait, you don't know your own cell phone number?" I'm like, "I know the first four or five, but I don't know the rest." And then it's like, "Okay, that's bad, right?" I said, "Well, give me a couple minutes and I can remember
What's that?
because
But
or
or you that's what you have. Like if you lose your phone, you could always trace it, right? Like track it. So it's
Mhm.
like we've become very reliant, of course, on our phones.
Right.
And
The one thing I want to say about producers real quick is that um I noticed you know, one show that's doing it, and I could be wrong. I'm a big fan of The View, and and they show the camera to what's his name, Andy, who's there usually. They, Whoopi goes that looks at him, a producer, and that to me gives me happiness because I like how they're doing that. There's usually two of them. And to me, I'm happy about that is because they're showing behind the scene. They're giving him credit a little bit. And that's what I like personally. I like it when they're giving their set crew credit, especially the producer,
like,
and it doesn't matter. I tell people it doesn't matter if you like the view or not. Just watch it and see. Look, there he is, right there occasionally, or you hear his voice or something like that. They're giving some kind of credit for the producer, and that to me, I absolutely love a lot. That I believe every TV show, no, correction, every talk show should be doing that. I mean, I'm being serious. Every talk show need to give credit to their producer, show their camera to their film crew a little bit, and then go back to them. To me, I'm sorry. They're part of the show. They're part of there. They're there. Nothing can happen without them being there. That's my point. That's why I keep telling everybody, I tell my family, yeah, you love this show. You love this movie. Okay, the movie was not made because of this person or this person. The lighting wasn't there. If the lighting wasn't there, then the movie is not made. If the makeup crew's not there, then the makeup is not, nothing can be happen. The hair, who cannot help but fix your hair. The wardrobe. The list goes on. If somebody is missing, then the film or the TV show is not perfect. So I keep saying that. I keep saying that because I want people to realize, yes, actors are there. Yes, we can give credit, but don't forget to give credit to the film and TV set crew. They also need to give credit. I'm very passionate about that because nothing can be happening without them.
so true. I 100% agree with you. Without the producer, without um, there's, I mean, so many components to what makes a show or a movie or anything. You need a very good team that's willing to back you. And not only that, it's just working all together, like, and making it as a great, well oiled machine is a very difficult thing to do. And to do it successfully, that's even harder. So, yes, there should be more interaction with people that are behind the scenes, but it's okay. There's a lot of people that they enjoy just being behind the scenes and not having the camera turned around. Now, with the View producer, it actually might be, yes, it might be the producer, but that's also very much um, strategically done by the
Mhm.
executive producers to have a producer appear on camera to make it look like, yeah, there's someone behind the scenes, but really he's always been meant to be
Right. But you
on
know what
the
I'm trying to say. It's
right. But
to me,
I
to
thank
me,
you for that.
even though to me, like I said, not hating the views, forgive me, Whoopi and everybody. But I totally agree with you. And again, it just to me, it just gives me happiness. It really does. Every producer, I'm being honest, every producer needs to be credited. I'm serious. And we're not I don't know. I feel like producers and film directors, and I could be wrong, they're not probably not being respected enough because, they're only aiming at the actress and actor. And I could be wrong, but we can't do that, right? We got to
Yeah,
focus on everybody that was involved. So that's my big 2 cents. I mean, people might be thinking I'm talking nonsense like that, but I mean, it's the truth, right? You can't just go there and like, well, it's just me going to run a TV show with a bunch of audience and just, no producer, right? Or a movie, and there's nobody there, right? So
yeah.
that's what you
I
call a chaotic TV show or game show or a movie. And so,
agree with you. It takes many components of many parts. Producers sometimes don't get enough credit for what they do. And although a whole lot of other people that are behind the scenes, um, now sometimes the actors don't get their due either as far as pay goes. And there's some unsung heroes. And I've been in front of the camera and behind the camera. I've worked my way from behind the camera to the front of the camera. I'm still doing kind of both. And I've done many roles, like practically every role. I've been a PA, I've been a stand in, I've been an actor with a few scenes, I've been the producer, I've been the AE. I've been so many different roles because it's good to know many. I haven't had the pleasure of lighting, but there are some unsung heroes. And I have been a stand in. And that is a position that doesn't get enough due. Why? Because there's a lot of stand-ins that are part of the create. No, they're all part of the creative process. And a lot of productions do not choose to put them on the credits.
hmm.
That to me is very upsetting because I've been a stand-in on many series and many movies, and I never got credit. Even when I was a core stand-in person, I didn't get credit. And that was very upsetting. And there are caterers that they always get credited. They're not part of the creative process. And that's what I have. That's one of my big grievances, aside from pay and insurance.
Well,
But I guess
that
that's
is.
a lot what a lot of actors complain about. But for stand-ins, that's a slap in the face.
Yes, it's 100% because I totally agree with you. That is very upsetting. I mean, I would feel the same thing as well. And that's why I keep repeating myself. That's why I keep saying everyone needs to be getting credit. And that is a big slap in the face. I don't care if you are an A, B, C, or D, right? Everyone starts from somewhere,
Amen.
right? And you want to get credit. You want to because you want to move up. You don't want to be where you are, right? And that to me, I think that's upsetting. I'm sorry that happened to you. Um, it
Many of us.
and I'm pretty sure and it happens to a lot of people. It does. It really does.
Thank you.
And it's just upsetting. But I always look at it, it's a learning, but also you're moving forward, right? And moving forward meaning you going forward, you keep going, try to figure out about the past, but you just hope the person that did it, you know, learns their lesson as well, and hopes because, you don't want them to, that person, they don't want that to happen to themselves. And so, and for me personally, I wish nothing bad on nobody. I really don't. So I mean, you know, it, they did it to me. Hey, I'm still gonna be friends. I'm still gonna be cool with it. I may be upset about it, but I can't be like, well, I'm gonna be mad at you. I'm not gonna work with you anymore. No, I'm gonna be like, hey, I forgive you. I'm upset, but I may personally say, pull them this person to the side and say, this is what happened. I mean, I don't appreciate it. I didn't feel appreciated, but I'm always going to work with you, but I'm not mad at you. You know, it's like, for me personally, it takes a long time for someone to make me mad. Trust me. But especially in the entertainment industry, you make so many friends. You really do. And somehow you forget what happened. You really do. You get back on set 4 weeks later and you meet the same person. You're like, I don't, and they're like, I'm sorry what I did. And you're like, what did you do? And you're like, oh, and you're like, oh, that's 4 weeks ago. I've totally forgot what happened. What? So it's like, but to be honest, what you were saying, I totally understand. It's wrong. It's a slap in the face and it's upsetting. But I, I love everybody in this entertainment industry. And, we're a family. We got to stick together. We really do.
Indeed,
We
indeed.
do. Because,
I agree with you, and thank you for being your kind words and your sympathy, your empathy towards stand-ins. And I also believe that all background should get a credit. Like it doesn't take very much for
and
them to add them to the credits. I mean,
also,
they're
when I
part of
read,
the, they're part of the creative process.
yes, they are. And I don't know if it's for you if you do this, but when I go to the movie theater and I recently saw Top Gun, by the way, if anybody's haven't seen it, I won't spoil it. Anyways,
Which the last Top Gun.
yes.
Oh, I
Uh,
love that.
yes, I
I
loved
love
it. We'll
Tom.
talk about it. But I always stay at the very end until all the credits are gone. Why? Because I am acknowledging each person on there. Again, I'm saying this again. I acknowledge each name on there because I want them to know they're appreciated. They may not feel it, but I feel them. I'm there for you. Their names are there. You read their name. They want to be acknowledged. They want to be noticed. So that's what I do. I
That's
stay
wonderful.
to the very end. I stay to the very, very end. So that's just me. But by the way, the Top Gun movie, let's talk about this. At the very end, nobody knows spoilers. Do you feel like there's going to be another one? I'm sorry. I just feel like Tom Cruise, okay? He's to me, he's not going to quit until he can't walk anymore. I'm sorry.
We
But
die.
well, that too, but no, that at the very end, there's no way that's the end. There's no way. There
I
has to be
believe
another
maybe
one,
I
right?
something about Top Gun 4. Like it's, I think I read somewhere that they're already beginning to put that together. So get ready, Top Gun 4 is coming. Yeah, no, and he's really the finest, one of the finest producers. Actually, he's the best stuntman that ever lived.
Yeah, and he can't read.
I didn't know he's dyslexic.
Yeah, and I didn't know that. And I don't quote me, but I've heard that he was on set and another co-star or something will someone will read lines to him.
Oh wow.
And he memorize it. And then also his stunts, he does it by himself.
Yeah, he does. I was actually recently, well, actually like a month and a half ago, I was on a set. It was a Kevin Hart movie.
Oh wow.
I was like a featured actor on this scene where
I'm a big Kevin Hart fan.
it's great. It's about well, I mean, I don't think this will be anything really bad about talking about briefly. The concept is he gets this text, this random text, right? And they say, "Are you gonna come? Are you gonna show up?" And he actually shows up and gets into all this trouble with this group of girls, I think. And what was my point that I was going to make? Um, uh, yes, with Kevin Hart.
Well, I don't want you to.
Yes, yes, okay, okay.
I don't
So,
want you to spoil it. If you
no, I'm
sign
not gonna
DNR, I
spoil
don't
it.
want you
No,
to
this
say
is a scene.
anything.
There's just a scene where he jumps over. He's at this beach bar and he jumps over the bar railing down to the marina like walkway where all these yachts are at.
Mm-hmm.
And he like knocks over two guys that are filling up their gear for fishing somewhere in Florida. This is Jersey. They're making it look like Florida. So what happens is Kevin does his thing, whatever. There's a body double. I mean, there's a stuntman. There's the two stuntmen. I ask him a question. They say, who's the best of all time? I said, I started with McQueen, as in Steve McQueen, or Tom Cruise. The stuntman looked at me and he said, Cruise, at the side of his mouth. And he says, because he's got a death wish. And I'm like, who would you say is the best stuntman of all time? And he looked at me and he said, at the side of his mouth, he almost didn't want to say it. He's like, Cruise, because he's got a death wish. So that's just like,
But
this is a stuntman giving it up to an actor.
Tom Cruise. There's a trailer of him riding his motorcycle and going off the cliff. And the film crew and everybody had to look over to make sure he was okay. I mean, if he's surviving, but the shoot came out. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I heard that Tom Cruise can hold his breath about 6 minutes underwater.
Yeah, for one of his movies,
I try to look it up on internet and see if anybody can go longer, and I don't think anybody can beat that. 6 minutes. That's intense. So I mean, that's practiced. I'm being honest, that's practice. That is definitely practice.
takes
And
years of
I
coaching.
heard you can do it, but you just gotta really practice. Like go slowly. Go slowly. But 6 minutes, that is intense. I mean,
He's an intense guy, and that's he pushes the limits to entertain us.
hmm
And that's why I think he's really there. A lot of people have their reservations about Tom, but you got to get up to the guy. The guy is committed.
yeah, he really and he knows how to make audience happy.
Yeah,
That's that's the one
he's a
thing.
great entertainer. I give it up to him and everything. And he is legendary, and he'll be known. And Hollywood does not like him because he's always making these great blockbusters. He saved Hollywood with Top Gun after the pandemic.
Yes,
I mean,
he really
Spielberg
did.
said it, and they still don't give him his due. They still don't give him his fistful of Academy Awards that he deserves. But he doesn't need that.
No.
You see, there's a difference between those that conform to the system and those that really just don't care. And he's
Right.
those people.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy.
like over the course, and I believed in the system like everyone else. I believed in the studio system till I got a taste during the strike. We all got a taste during the strike of what the studio system is really capable of. And they are atrocious in many ways. They don't value actors. Um, and they scheme, they scam, they do everything. It is without a doubt shocking, saddening that they don't value actors as they should. We fill the frame. Without
hmm
us, there's nothing. And yet, we're the worst paid. And I'm sure you've heard this from many actors that have come on your show. Um, that I'm in the union, and most of us, a good 70 to 80% of us, can't afford our own insurance because we don't make the 26,000 a year, even with speaking roles. So we make up for it by having second jobs, other professions, and when we're not auditioning, which they don't pay us for, um, they essentially just whatever, right? We audition a million times. We do background roles. Um, we do stand-in roles. We do embodied doubles. We try to and go on all our auditions, and we try to get roles, and it's still not enough for close to 80% of us. And post I mean, even with, which in my opinion, we should have never have taken, I voted against it, to have taken this last lousy contract, which does not help us. Because since the 1950s, we have been trying to catch up to the technology. And you know what? We haven't caught up. Because in the 50s, it was about live shows going taped. And we didn't know how to quantify that to help us actors make money. The studios kept everything. The higher ups, the AMPTP, the producers kept everything. And I'm not talking about our friends at the producers union, right?
Hmm.
And then afterwards, when cable became a thing, we didn't know how to quantify that. And now, once
Right.
again, streaming, we don't know how to quantify that. We don't know how the millions of hours and everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
I, we've been trying to catch up, and every time we try to catch up, we're behind the eight ball. And because of that, since we don't know as a union how to quantify, we lose out. And they make all the money, and we wind up not even affording our own health insurance. That's pathetic. You know what's the other place where you can't afford your health insurance? Walmart. Walmart makes its workers go get Medicaid. A lot of actors are either forced to get through their second jobs or they have to go to Medicaid. There's a lot of act in the union.
Hmm. And you're right. We're not the actors are not excuse me, not getting enough credit. And um
But
words
hey,
words.
credit is credit, but it's all about pay.
That's what I'm saying. That's why my
Oh,
brain froze. Sorry, I was like,
no, no,
my
no, no,
brain
no worries.
froze there. I kind of paused there. But yes, you're absolutely right. The pay, everything needs to. And you're right. The technology is changing. It really is. I love social media, Instagram, TikTok, but more Instagram. Like we said, you know, I personally believe, not 100% believe, but some of it, that YouTube's slowly dying. And, a lot of, what do I mean by that is Instagram is going. It's not dying. It really is not going to die yet. Meaning, it's
Yet.
it's it's in it's going into the next generation right now. The next younger generation, the middle school and high school kids right now are loving it. And surprisingly, the parents who are now, raising kids, they're involved with their parents making funny content on Instagram, and their kids are loving it. And then it's getting passed on. So probably never going to die. That's one thing about Instagram. Big news for Instagram. Love you guys. YouTube, I believe that it's not made for what TikTok is doing, what Instagram is doing. If you look on TikTok, you have people making funny videos. You have family making funny videos. You have family and daughter making a funny video, or the whole family doing pranks, walking down the hallway and then getting water balloon down there, getting surprised. You're making that kind of stuff, or dog videos, or stuff like that. And TikTok is going skyrocketing as well. And Instagram, you can kind of do the same thing on Reel. And so, I believe, and you have a lot of film producers and directors putting their film preview as real on Instagram, not on YouTube. So because you know why? A lot of people are on Instagram. They can look at the reels and say, "Wow, let's look at this movie trailer." You look at Tom Cruise and or any other movie, you have reels coming out, short 30 seconds, 40-second reels on Instagram. You really don't have to go on YouTube to look at reels, right? Yes, maybe watch movies, but that's why I believe, the technology is changing. It's unfortunate to YouTube YouTube is putting out like, oh, we have YouTube TV. Well, great, but unfortunately, when you have things that also coming out streaming on internet, you don't have to pay. You can do through internet. You have Roku and all this stuff. So personally, YouTube is not 100% dying, but it's slowly. That's what I believe because again, this is what I believe. Um, because we have Instagram, and Instagram right now, there's nothing competing against Instagram. I mean, I'm sorry, YouTube. I mean, I love YouTube, but nothing is competing against Instagram or TikTok. And YouTube, I mean, yes, you can post videos, you can do this, but you really can't do everything what Instagram is offering. You can't do everything what TikTok is offering. And that is, you have, oh, by the way, you have a lot of news anchor. By the way, local state news anchor will have TikTok as their account and they're live. At the same time, they're reporting news, and it's like, so same on Instagram. You have like a short video. It's like, oh, here's my am. They're talking to you. They're talking to the fans. YouTube, nah, really, you can't do that. I'm sorry. You're not able to do that. So that's the big thing I want to say is that, you know, YouTube is really, I know this sounds horrible and it's it's wrong to say YouTube is dying. I really think it's dying, slowly dying. Instagram, TikTok, like you said, a technology, bravo. I love Instagram. I'm glued to Instagram. TikTok, well, I'm not so glued to it, but I am. But high five to Instagram. High five. And let me say this real quick. You have a lot of actors, producers, and directors, famous actors, famous A-list actors, B-list actor, producers, everybody, singers, and so on, NBA players, politicians, everybody. They're on Instagram. Instagram is legit. So that's another thing that YouTube's not offering. I'm sorry, it's not. It's really not. You have people who, for example, I'm just going to say, want to run a campaign, political campaign, Instagram Live. Bam, there you go. You can't go on YouTube. Or you want to do a behind the scenes of a movie. Bam, there it is, right? YouTube, well, sorry, you're not offering that. So, that's the big thing I want to say. It's Instagram, we make connections. That's the key. We
Yeah.
make connections. And to YouTube, I'm sorry, it's not. It's really not. It's just you. I don't know how to describe it. The words are not coming out, but it's not there. That's all I gotta say. I'm
Well,
sorry,
yeah.
YouTube. If YouTube are watching this, please forgive me. I'm not trying to talk bad about you guys. I love you guys. I don't think you're really, really dying yet. But the only thing I'm gonna ask for YouTube is maybe get an app and maybe do what Instagram is kind of doing. You're probably starting late, but you can kind of you can kind of do something, right? You can kind of do something like Instagram. It's gonna take a while to catch up to Instagram. It's gonna take a while to catch up to TikTok, but YouTube, I think, get an app. Make your app kind of like Instagram, and maybe partner with Instagram and TikTok, and then maybe it could help you guys. So shout out to YouTube. I'm just not gonna hate you guys. I love you guys. I'm here. Anyways, don't want you to come after me and say, "Oh my gosh, you're so mad at us." No, I'm not. I'm just my opinion, YouTube. My opinion.
It's an
Don't say
editorial.
that.
Um, well, yes, well, Instagram, like you were mentioning, Instagram's great for connections. And so and we were discussing this, instead of creatives, producers, actors, directors, being on LinkedIn, they go to Instagram. And so you'll find a wealth of people there, in addition to politicians and other influencers, because it's easy and it's quick, but it's not as quick as TikTok. So it has a nice little middle ground, 1 or 2 minutes, maybe up to 5 minutes max. Now, YouTube used to be great. YouTube is still great. Here's one thing YouTube has over Instagram. YouTube is great as a data bank, as a university, as a how-to. So it owns that area. And I think if they continue in that direction, they'll have like they become an encyclopedia, a dictionary, where everyone goes for their resources. I don't know. I want to repair my shoe. I want to repair a wall. You don't go to Instagram,
Hmm.
you go to YouTube. So
And you,
YouTube is great for that, but not it's taken over from where Facebook is as a platform for socializing. And then I'm sure like 10 years down the line there'll be something else because there's always something else anyway. But
yeah, unfortunately, it's the truth. It is. I
yes,
mean,
it is.
nobody predict. No, I remember. Well, I'm too young. I remember there was something called like what is it, MySpace, and
Oh,
then
MySpace.
yes, and then
Then it was
um,
Facebook
Facebook, and
and
then
Instagram.
yeah,
Yeah,
when Instagram came out, someone told me about it. Like, oh yeah, Instagram, and I'm like, I looked at the person like they were crazy. I was like, what did you just say to me? What is this called? It's the app, download it. It's like it's so much better than Facebook, blah blah blah. And I'm like, what? You're nuts. And then I downloaded it, and I was like, oh, I'm glued. I didn't get off the app for like how many hours? I'm like looking at my phone. I'm like, hold on, I need to do this. Hold on, I need to do this. Hold on, I need to do this. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. And then you meet people, and I'm like, who's this person? Never met this person. Oh, who's this? But you're right. One thing I want to say real quick, connecting,
yeah,
connection. And that's one thing I want to say real quick that um, I love about the entertainment industry. Social media and Instagram helps us. We connect with people
agreed.
just like we connect with each other,
Yeah,
and so, you know, anybody out there who wants to get into the entertainment industry, don't give up. You have to have a thick skin. You can do it.
very.
Go for it. But I also want to say you must have an Instagram account. And people think
You should.
why? And I said, well, unfortunately, you must. To be in the entertainment industry, you can connect people in your local state and out of the state. That's how you get connection, make friends. So,
It's important to get your brand out there. Um, a website is a good thing to have. It's good to have an agent, a manager, maybe, to be part of many agencies, but it's also very important to connect, like you were saying. So Instagram is the place for creatives for now, because something else will come down the line. It used to be Facebook, and our parents are on Facebook. I have a Facebook account, but I post on Instagram and it goes to Facebook. I don't do Facebook.
hey, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it,
Yeah.
100%.
The only thing I must criticize from Instagram is oh, their live capabilities from your phone is fantastic. But if you are going live from like some venue, some event, and you're trying to go live from all your different social platforms, Instagram makes it difficult because they only recently started it making it more friendly for professionals in that way. Um, and so you'll have many social platforms and you're connected to that platform, that hub, like Restream. And you can go easily live from everything else, but you have to change the key on
Hmm.
Instagram. And that's very annoying. So they need to get their act together with regards to that. Because
Yeah,
actually, Facebook, in many ways, has their act together better, but Instagram has um, a
greater,
greater portfolio for music.
right.
Whereas Facebook, not so much, not really. So, but it's always important. And I tell this to anyone who wants to be in the industry. First of all, if you want to be a creative, come original or don't come at all. And there's so many people, like we all see these great stars and like, oh, I want to be like this person. I want to be famous. It's not about doing
Be
that. No,
yourself.
it's about It's really about your own craft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be
Create,
yourself.
be yourself, agreed, but also be creative. Do something different. Do not follow anyone else in the way that you might admire them, but people like originals. And what I saw during the strike, I saw a big error from SAG-AFTRA, and I love SAG-AFTRA because we're united. We have benefits. We have great events. We have a lot of support. But the problem is the system, the whole entire system. They validate, the studios validate SAG-AFTRA's self-worth. And as long as that happens, we'll never have a good contract. Never, ever. So I interviewed a lot of actors on the line, at the picket line. You're not allowed to interview people on the picket line unless you're an actor yourself. You have to wait for people to walk away from the pickets to interview them. That's the rule, unless you're an actor. And because of my broadcast journalism background, I went and I interviewed my fellow actors. And I interviewed them about what's going on, like how you're making rent. What would you say to that studio executive if you were in the room with them? If you were there, they had a lot to say. But when I asked them, do you believe that SAG-AFTRA's self-worth is based on their validation? They froze. Because it's true.
Hmm.
Because without a contract, and it's always shitty, our self-worth as actors is worthless. So, with that said, and I proposed, and some people even call me communistic, I said, if we have all the talents, they need us more than we need them. We should create our own streaming service. And you could see people just immediately agreed, but they're already defeating themselves. They're like, but how would we do it? There are some actors that do them themselves. And that's what I've done. I took from this strike a few takeaways that we cannot no longer, as a union or as individuals, allow these people to determine our self-worth. So what do? You go into business for yourself. Lo and behold, I created a system, different, independent. And yes, there are independent companies, production companies, studios, whatever have you. But I decided for myself to take a bunch of actors and give them better pay than the studios do, as well as make it immersive. You know, nowadays, people take vacations. They're no longer interested in vacations. They're interested in vacations where they get to do something immersive, some
Mm-hmm.
experience. So, for example, you go to a nice restaurant. It's nice, but it's not immersive. Where, for example, you're sitting with the chef at the chef's table alongside him, creating that great recipe with him. That's how travel has evolved. And for people that are fans of movies and television and entertainment, that needs to change too. It needs to be immersive. And I'm not talking about you go to Universal Studios or you go to Disney and you take the tour. No, I'm talking about real involvement. And that's where, out of the strike, out of rebellion, thematic shift, which is a part of a production company that I made with others, was born. We were born out of rebellion, out of saying no more. We will not, our value, our self worth will no longer be determined by you, the studio. We're going to do our own thing. And not only that, the people, it's going to be led by members who vote on everything that's created. You choose the next movie, the next show, the next everything. You choose what's going to be cast. And you not only back what you greenlit,
Right.
you get to walk on set
It's absolutely true.
and be part of that experience.
Right,
That
right.
is immersive. Everybody likes going to a movie set. I mean, just a few days ago, people, I don't care who you are, you could be the richest person in the world. Look at Bezos. He's trying to get his wife to be a Bond girl. Everyone's filming it. Everybody's interested. Everybody's looking. Everybody's, wow, what are they doing there? What are you guys doing there? And they want to get a glimpse. They want to be a part of it. Thematic Shift offers you that opportunity to be part of movies, not just to watch it, not just to visit, to actively vote and make change happen. Everything that you back, you got to be a part of. And
Hmm.
that's what came out of the strike and we created.
Wow. Amazing story.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you. I learned so much from
We're
that.
trying to change it because you
Hmm.
know what? The studio system is actually broken. They're trying to work with somebody like Mr. Beast. That's why Amazon gave him a show because he doesn't need them. He has tens of millions of followers. They need him. And more influencers are starting, and actors and other folks that are from other areas are starting to do their own thing,
Right.
their own platforms.
Hmm.
Um, so people will follow, and you create your own thing, truly immersive, truly interactive. That's thematic shift.
Yes. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. I
Oh
love
no,
it.
no, thank you, thank you for listening.
No, you're very, and the audience would appreciate, your audience would appreciate,
It's just about giving yourself the freedom, giving the power back to you, to the actor, to the person behind the camera, not letting someone in a big boardroom dictate what
Right.
you're going to watch. There's so many more channels every day. There's
Right.
so much more content needed that they can't keep up with it. Not even Netflix. And I remember when Blockbuster was a heavyweight, and Netflix was a joke. Netflix was like you send in through the mail,
Hmm.
and Blockbuster laughed. They're nobodies. Where's Blockbuster now?
Yeah.
I intend, along with other studios, to take down the system
That's true.
because every
100%.
empire will fall, even the beautiful U.S. of A. whom I love and adore. Everything,
Yeah.
every empire, no matter how mighty and big, must fall, and the studio system must fall with it.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank
And you know
you.
what?
Thank you.
I admire you because guess what you're doing?
What is that?
You're not following the studio system.
No.
You're saying, you're saying, I'm going to do my own thing.
And
I'm going to get my own followers, and I'm going to create entertainment independent of the studios. Now, granted,
it really means a lot. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. Um, Interviewing so many actors, A-list actors, V-list actors. But this has always been my passion. This has always been my passion. So thank you so much. I love what I'm doing. And I love interviewing actors from any state, any country, and keep my Instagram growing, get as many followers as I can, keep myself up. This is who I am.
and then take it from there and do something else if you want to.
Right.
It's up to you. But the thing is, you're doing it independently. And I believe in independence. And not just independent from the studios, you create your own content and you work with, but, and you continue doing that. That's
I
what I
appreciate it. I appreciate it so much.
keep it up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, thank you for coming on.
Oh, are we done already? I could set hours, my friend. Believe me. When we it's been a pleasure. It's been a lot of fun, and I look
Well,
forward to the next time.
we definitely need to do part two because
Sounds good.
I really want to have you back again soon.
Great, great. I'm looking forward to it. I would love to be part of it so we could talk about the future, about how we're defying the old tired system. And you know the way the old tired, the Facebook of the world. That's why this guy bought Instagram, because you got to go with the new technology. And AI is destroying SAG as well because the studios, like Amazon, are looking to create full movies AI driven with no actors. So watch out, actors. Wake up. Start doing your own thing. Start doing Ryoichi, correct?
Ryuichi.
Ryoichi. Do it like Ryoichi. Do it like myself. Because I know you're getting less and less work out there. That's something you and I just talk about. You're getting less and less work. There's a reason for that. Because AI is taking over. And,
Hmm.
oh, you know what? Our jobs are going overseas because taxes are cheaper, productions are cheaper, and they go wherever it's easier for them to go, and they don't care
Yes,
about us. So
100%.
do your own thing. Do it
Yes.
like him. Do it like Red Carpet Round Table. Do it like thematicshifts.com. But do it and pick your ass up and do it today and come original. Or don't. No.
Amen. Amen. We, you know what? We are going to, I'm definitely going to have you back soon. Might be this week, next week for sure. This week or next week for sure, but I'm going to have you back and we are going to talk more about this.
Definitely. And we could do collabs so we could build our following.
Yes, that's what I want.
We're at the same number practically, anyways. Let's do this.
Yes, I need to get as we need to get I need to get as many followers as well, and but I thank you again. We're definitely going to do this again.
Yeah, you definitely. You
All
have
right, well
a
you have a good night. We'll stay in touch. Hopefully maybe this week we'll do it again.
thank you.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.